Hello, everybody. It's good to see you again, or good to be seen, as the case may actually be. As you've seen on my YouTube channel, I haven't posted anything new for several months. I only do these videos when I'm inspired to do so. And so what inspired me to do this is the drone situation, all of the confusion around what's going on in the skies around the world. It's not just an American phenomenon, it's literally all around the world, and the mass media has given so many contradictory stories. Is it alien disclosure? Is it government psyops? Is it just amateurs flying their drones when they shouldn't be? There's so much confusing and contradictory information that I decided to do a channeling for it and find out what's really going on. And with all of my videos and all of my channelings, it will only resonate for those that have ears to hear. You've heard me say that before in previous channelings. And so if you have ears to hear, I think you'll learn some new information and maybe be inspired to question some of the things that you're being told by those around us that have an agenda. So anyway, if you enjoy this video and you enjoy the information, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and pass it along. And the more of us that are on the same page, the more of us that understand what's really going on, the stronger we'll be as a nation and as a worldwide community, for that matter. So with that being said, please enjoy and have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
So we have been waiting in the wings, we have been waiting in the green room, because we have been wanting to speak to you for a very long time. We'd like to talk to you about the drones, because we know you have been very, very interested and curious and attentive to what has been going on, and she's feeling very, very warm right now. She's feeling a very, very warm feeling in her torso and her heart and her chest and her stomach, and everything is aglow for we are speaking to her in a very, very loving, caring, sharing way, and she can experience that. So anyway, we will get back to what we came to speak about, which was about the drones. The drones are human-made. The drones are no way, shape, or form connected to ETs. It is simply a military operation. It is a military operation that is being done for covert purposes. It is being done to fool you into thinking that there are ET connections here. This is what is currently happening, is being observed by the ETs, for the ETs are very concerned where this false flag may eventually lead. It has not yet accelerated to what you would currently call a false flag, but it is leading up to that. That is their intention at this point in time, to see how well you can accept these things flying around in your sky. They are leading up to possibly even staging an alien attack. They are thinking that it would be to their benefit to have you so afraid and so concerned that you will be in just short of panic mode. They do not want you in panic mode, but they want you as close to that as possible, and yet still go on with your day-to-day activities. But if they go too far, you will go into panic, and that is not what they want from the general masses. Of course, those of you that are connected with the light, those of you that are connected to the truth, are not going to fall for this, for it is very much going to be theater from your point of view. You will be able to watch this with a detached eye. You will be able to watch this, as has been said earlier, through the looking glass. You will be able to watch this from afar and be able to go, wow, this is a really big deal, and yet it is not at the same time. It is a big deal, for it will separate those who are easily fear-based and those who are more drawn towards the light. It is a it is a process that may well backfire on them, for as they begin to do the more aggressive activities, which may well include killing people. They are not above that, of course, and as 9/11 and JFK and all of those things have proven, they are not at all above killing people in order to support their agenda, in order to advance their agenda. They are not the least bit concerned about the loss of life, for it is all about power and control and money. And as Bashar said recently, we have entered the age of the oligarchs. And Alexis used to think oligarchy was only something that happened in Russia and other countries like that. But we are here to tell you, you already have an oligarchy in the United States. You just don't know it, for they are behind the scenes. They are not in the government per se. They are the government behind the government, and they are the ones that are pulling the strings. It didn't really matter who you voted for, whether it was Kamala or whether it was Trump. It really doesn't matter, because they are not in control. They are the figurehead. They are the puppet that is being pushed forward as being in charge, when it is they are not much more in charge than you are. For they are being told what to do. They are being kept from the truth. They do not know what is happening behind the scenes, for that is quite intentional, and it has been that way for many decades. So the thing that you call your political system is nothing more than a distraction from the truth. And the more they can keep the population in fear and distracted, the less likely you are to join together and address and aggressively confront the people who are touting that they are in power. And only then, when you get them to understand that the masses are much stronger and much more powerful than you have been given credit, then only then will they begin to understand that their political future lies in your hands, not the other way around. And yet, the people behind the scenes that are actually pulling the strings don't care about you at all, other than you are a source for money. Because that is their ultimate goal, is to make more money, more money, more money. There is never enough for that group of people. It is a game. It is an addiction. It is something that more is always better, no matter how much more there is. You sometimes ask the question, when is enough enough? And the answer is, for those oligarchs, there is no such thing as enough. It does not exist. So there will be a revolution of sorts at some time in the not too distant future. It will be started by this operation that they are currently beginning to undertake. The operation, you have heard of Project Bluebeam. We know that you do not know much about that at this time, but we would encourage you to go that direction if you are interested in knowing their plans. It will lower your vibration as you study it, so be aware of that, because you are light workers and it is your job to keep your vibration as high as you can. So if you are not being drawn to study it, it would be in your best interest to not study it if you can remain neutral and continue to raise your vibration and continue to move towards the light, for that is your job. Your job is not to research the things, the negative things, the negative energy things. The conspiracies are the words that your government uses, but that word conspiracy is used in a pejorative term to keep the masses down. And yet that doesn't mean just because it is a conspiracy theory does not mean it is not true, or that bits and pieces of it, or even the majority of it may well be true. There will always be truth mixed with misinformation in everything you hear. You cannot trust the newspapers. You cannot trust the mass media. You cannot trust anything you hear from other sources other than those that resonate with you in this light community. If you find someone that you resonate with within this light community, that is a beacon for you. That is a direction you should go. We don't like saying should, but in this situation, it is necessary, because in order to increase the light, in order to get together with other light workers and to accelerate the movement towards ascension and the movement towards the light, as long as you continue to do that, it is unnecessary for you to study what is on the other side of the glass, other than to find those people on the other side of the glass that have ears to hear. You have heard this before through Alexis and now from Heidi. For those that have ears to hear are on both sides of the political spectrum, and there are many that you would reflexively push away because they voted for the orange one, but that does not mean that you don't have more in common with them than you believe you do, for you have way more in common with many of them, if not most of them, than you believe that you do. And the ideas about ETs and UFOs and UAPs and aliens, those are not politically divisive subjects. So you will find as much support on the other side of the aisle from those that you normally would not communicate with. We would encourage you to communicate with those on the other side so that you can find your common ground, so you can find your commonalities, so that you can join together, and what will eventually happen in the not too distant future is that the two-party system will begin to fall away, because the masses will rise. The masses will rise in a way that your political system has never seen before, because it is a revolutionary changing of attitudes, a revolutionary changing of minds, a revolutionary seeing the man behind the curtain. The man behind the curtain can only hide as long as you are not looking for him. As the masses begin to look for the man behind the curtain, and we say that knowing that, of course, it is more than a man. It is a group of people that are pulling the strings, and that group of people, once they are exposed, will not understand how to deal with it, and they will deal with it poorly, and it will not go in the direction that they wish, because they have never been confronted by the masses before. But the masses can only rise up in mass if you can join together. The light and those who are open and able to hear what you have to say, or able to feel your loving energy and your acceptance of the fact that the person, the energy that they voted for, they believe is going to help them, and yet at the same time they are unaware of how they are being deceived, not only by the ones that they voted for, but by the quote-unquote government that they think truly exists. When they are as aware, when they become as aware as you that they are, that it is all theater, that they will begin to reach out to other like-minded individuals regardless of their political affiliation, for that will become nonsensical as this moves forward. So just be aware that what you are being shown right now is not even the opening act. This is the preview of the opening act. and it will accelerate in the not too distant future in a way that no one will be able to ignore. You will be witness to a false flag event that will look like an alien invasion. It will be very much like what happened to the radio show way back in the 20s or 30s when the Martians apparently were supposed to have invaded your space. The channel is losing the name of who that person was.
War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells, yes, thank you for prompting her. She was searching for that name and wasn't able to find it. This will be a real life event that will bring the masses to the point of near panic. They are not wanting to allow panic, but they are wanting you to be just short of that. And so when they do this false flag thing that will include not only the drones that you currently see, but other reverse engineered technology that they have, they will use that reverse engineered technology to pretend like they are aliens, that they are UFOs, that they are ETs, when in reality, those of you who have been following this for as long as you have will see through that immediately, for there is no elegance in their machines. They have reverse engineered the machines, and they do many of the things that the UFOs from the past have done. But of course, just as your technology has improved, so has the ET technology. So what you are going to see that will appear to be UFOs, that it will appear to be ETs, will not be at all. The ETs will be standing back, waiting in the wings, making sure they do not cross the line of nuclear war, for the ETs will not allow that. That is a universal, that is a metaversal disruption of energy, and they will not allow that to happen. So just be aware they are your guardians, so to speak, that they will be watching this with very interested eyes, and they will be making sure that those in charge do not cross that boundary of nuclear war. But that does not mean that they will not kill many people to make this appear that it is an alien invasion. So just be aware that when you are hearing things on the news over and over and over, and those things sound so familiar, or so similar is the word, that those things sound so similar from one station to the next, from one newspaper to the next, from one channel to the next, and they are all parroting the same words, you can be assured that that is a psychological operation that is being performed by your government. It is propaganda in the most dramatic form. So just be aware you are entering a time of mass and considerable propaganda around this event that will be ongoing for the next several months, possibly even years. That is all we have to say on that subject for today. So if you have any questions, Heidi, we would be glad to entertain those.
I do have a question. I actually have a couple. One is, if you say that these are all man-made drones from the American military, what about the drones that have been spotted over other countries, or is that also part of the propaganda? Is it the American military over these other countries also causing mischief, or is it their militaries, or are they actually not over other countries?
They are over other countries because there is no separation of American military or UK military or Russian military. When you reach the highest levels of the dark government, when you reach the highest levels of the machine behind the government, you will understand that it is already worldwide. It is not simply the United States. It is the United States in conjunction with China, in conjunction with Japan, in conjunction with Russia, There are no political lines at that level of wealth, for those people who are pulling the strings are so incredibly wealthy that nationality no longer matters. All that matters is the agenda, and the agenda is truly worldwide. So yes, you are seeing the same thing worldwide, because the forces that are driving this are worldwide forces. This is not simply an American problem.
So what is the point then? When is the point where they will cross the line where the extraterrestrials would intervene? Is it only nuclear, or if they are, I don't know, is there something else in between nuclear and what they're doing now that would be crossing another line that would be unacceptable to the extraterrestrials?
Nuclear is the line. Nuclear is the line. As you have seen from your 9/11 day, as you have seen from the other quote-unquote terrorist activities that have killed thousands upon thousands of people, as you have seen wars break out between one country and another where millions and millions of people are killed, that unfortunately for you is not the domain of the ETs. The ETs are not here to protect humans from each other. The ETs understand that the human civilization must go through this ascension process on its own, and the ascension process for those who are not in the light can be very, very ugly and very, very malevolent, very, very heinous, very, very dark. The amount of people that they are willing to kill to continue their agenda is a number that is almost unfathomable. And so the only time that the ETs will step in is when it becomes nuclear. We are sorry to say, but that is the line.
So on that same subject of the nuclear, were you listening to what I was telling Alexis, that it came out yesterday or the day before that it was reported in a newspaper that a container that was transporting some nuclear material to my state of New Jersey arrived damaged and open and empty. Misinformation.
Sorry, that's what came through. They are trying to justify what they are doing. That is all part of the false flag operation. You will not hear the truth. You will hear little snippets of the truth that will be combined with mostly misinformation. And so that is a story that they will use in order to justify what they are doing. And so do not be sucked into that story, for that is more misinformation. And yet those in your government who are giving out that misinformation are being told that by those above them. So therefore the source of the misinformation is so high that those that are telling the story do not know that it is misinformation. So they can be very passionate about their lies, for they are not lies from their perspective. They are only lies from the top. They are lies from the oligarchs that are pulling the strings.
So, and I have a related question. I spoke with a woman yesterday who, she could be on the fringe of conspiracy theories, but she meant this. She absolutely believed it, what she said to me. She said that she has spoken to people who said that when these drones are flying over the state of New Jersey, that some who've experienced them, they've smelled sulfur. Onion smell, which they interpreted to be sulfur. And then some were claiming that some of these drones are actually dropping chemicals down. Do you have anything to say about that?
At this time, the smells are coming from the technology that is antiquated. we will not say whether or not they have begun to drop chemicals or anything of that nature, for it is premature to say that. It is, the smells come from the age of the technology. These are old machines. They are very primitive in compared to the technology that is still being hidden. The technology that will be brought out gradually as these antiquated machines are discovered to be what they are. The next phase of technology will be more modern, will be more technologically advanced, will be more believable as UFOs. For the things that you see right now are not believable as UFOs, for they have too many things like the light patterns that your airplanes have. They have the red lights, the green lights, and the flashing white lights. That is not typically what you will see in a legitimate alien ET. They tend to come and go, or they tend to glow themselves, for the energies that keep them moving through your skies are the kinds of energies that will make them glow. So they may or may not have other flashing lights, but the lights that you have seen so far in these drones are very much like the lights you see on your airplanes. For it seems rather odd that these technologies that are being hidden from you, albeit having been old technology from the grand scheme of things, are still lit up the same as your aircraft. And so that shows that is another example of the evidence that shows these are man-made.
I have one more question. I was listening to someone who was claiming that there was a battle being fought right now and on a different level, and that is for the quote-unquote good extraterrestrials or the bad extraterrestrials, quote-unquote, who want to take control of this Earth. That didn't feel very right to me. That felt very odd because as far as I understand it, we've got a pretty good caretaker system around us. But am I just defaulting to that because it's comforting to me?
No, it is not the good versus the bad in the ET world. That battle was fought millions and millions of years ago. That is the battle on which your series Star Wars came from. As Bashar has said, Star Wars is the journey of the past. Star Trek is the journey to the future. And so we are not going to say there are not negative entities in the universe, because of course there are. There are negative ETs, there are negative civilizations, but that is not what is happening right now. They are not interested in what is happening here right now. That battle has already been won, and the alien forces, the ET forces, the loving forces that are watching your planet with great interest are those of love and light. So you have nothing to fear from the ETs. You have nothing to fear from the aliens. You have nothing to fear from the hybridization project. You have nothing to fear of anything that is going to come into your earthly sphere from afar, from different civilizations and galaxies, and even from other multiverses. Those that come to Earth are of light, of benevolence, of knowing that love is the greater good, and therefore that is why they are watching this. They want to make sure that you don't blow yourself up. Earth is very important in the grand scheme of things. It is one of the places that is being used as an example for other civilizations who are not yet at your level, even though your level is quite primitive compared to the metaverse and civilizations of those that have been here, have been using these technologies for millions or billions of years. You are like Earth is a wonderful, wonderful place to be, and is very, very much revered by those civilizations in the multiverses around you, but yet you are still like an anthill to those advanced civilizations. It is literally like watching an anthill for the way that humans are acting right now. Even though you feel that you are very advanced, you are not advanced at all in the grand scheme of things. And so that is the reason why you are being so easily misled by your quote-unquote leaders, even though they are not your leaders. So you do not need to fear any negativity coming from the skies other than your own technologies that have been hidden from you.
Well, you've been really informative today. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Alexis is seeking a name. We are the Peacekeepers. She just got...
Are you part of the Galactic Federation?
Yes. Yes, we are the Peacekeepers from the Galactic Federation, or any other label you would like to give us. She has full body goosebumps right now as we said the word Peacekeepers, for that is our job. But sometimes as Peacekeepers we must uncover things that are very ugly, things that you do not want to see. For in order to keep the peace, you must be aware of the darkness. Alexis experienced that in her most recent plant medicine journey. Even though that has been many months ago, it is a journey she will never forget, for she experienced the darkness in a way that she had never, ever experienced the darkness before. So she understands what the darkness that has been out there, and is very happy to know it is no longer a significant factor in your future, for you have moved beyond that. That battle has been fought and has been won. So keep the faith. Keep moving towards ascension. Keep others in mind. Do not be self-centered. Be other-centered. Don't be afraid to go across the aisle or on the other side of the glass to talk to those that have ears to hear that you have heretofore rejected as too conservative. For when it comes to these technological, this space, this expansion of consciousness regarding how you fit into the grand scheme of things, how Earth is one of the puzzle pieces that fits into this gigantic jigsaw puzzle. As you begin to see that and understand that, you will be amazed at how powerful love is, and what a waste of energy anything that is self-centered is. Heidi, your channeling that you did about the religion of wealth, the religion of money, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. For a religion has been created around money, and it is not in your best interest to go down that road. For the old saying is, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that is what I was going to say that is what you have seen, but unfortunately it is behind the veil, behind the curtain. It's not a legitimate veil. It's behind the curtain, just like in The Wizard of Oz. Those in power, those with the money, those with the wealth are pulling the strings, but they are about to be exposed, and they are freaking, pardon our French, they are freaking the fuck out. So they are willing to do anything to keep the masses afraid.
May I ask you another question from curiosity?
Of course.
Do you have physical form, or are you a purely energetic being?
The Peacekeepers have had physical form in the past, but the Peacekeepers are not a homogeneous group. we have some within the peacekeepers who have experienced life on Earth. We have some in the peacekeepers who have experienced life in other galaxies, other multiverses, and there are some energies in the peacekeepers who have never been physical. The Arcturus energy is the most commonly known energy that has never been physical. As you and Alexis have both discovered, your Arcturian roots came through the Pleiades in order to do the boot camp to become physical, for it is quite a jump to go from having lived, having existed at the non-physical for eternity, to then have to lower the energy to materialize into physical form with the time-space constraints that come with it, the unknowing that you are gods, and that is a very detailed, deep, and difficult process for most beings. Therefore, in order for us to be the group that will keep the peace at all levels, in order to bring all the energies of love together, we have to be a federation, a group of people a group of beings rather, who have had a multitude of different experiences, for it is those varied experiences that give us the wisdom, for no one being knows it all. Therefore, if you were the being that knew it all, you would be God, big G, you would be Source, and you would not be having any of these experiences. So we are a conglomerate of those who have mostly been physical but still have the angelic and the non-physical spiritual guides along with us at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you. This is a wonderful channeling. Thank you so much for coming to answer our questions.
You are very welcome. Alexis was very happy to let us through. So for now, we will say, we are the peacekeepers. You are to continue to spread love and light, for love and light is the path to peace. We love you all. So mote it be. Goodbye.